So we've all heard the advice, right? Just work hard. Sounds simple. But what if the version of hard work we all learned in school isn't what it actually takes to do great things? Well, today we're going to break that down and dive into a whole new framework for what it really means to work hard. We kind of think of hard work like a simple switch. You just flip it on. More hours, more grind, more pain. But what if it's less like a switch and more like a super complex engine that needs a ton of fine-tuning? Is it possible that what we see as effortless brilliance is actually the result of a much smarter approach to effort? Here's the core idea. You know that model of work we all got from school? The one with the clear assignments, the deadlines, the grades? Well, here's the thing. That's not going to cut it for doing really great stuff in the real world. To do great things, you literally have to unlearn that model and find a new one. All right, so first things first, we gotta bust a big myth. The myth of the effortless genius. You know the one, the idea that some people are just so brilliant they can skip all the hard work. Turns out that's just not how it works at all. Turns out great work isn't just one magic thing. It's more like a recipe, and it's got 3 absolutely crucial ingredients. You need some natural ability for sure, but you also need years and years of practice. And on top of that, you need intense, focused effort. You might do okay with 2 out of 3, but to be a real outlier, you need all of them. I mean, look at someone like Bill Gates. We all think of him as this genius, right? Pure natural talent. But the guy was famous for his insane work ethic. He said he never took a single day off in his 20s. Not one. This wasn't someone just coasting on their talent. This was someone pushing that talent to its absolute max with pure effort. And hey, this isn't just for tech geniuses. It holds true everywhere. Take the writer P.G. Wodehouse. His writing seems so light, so easy, doesn't it? Like it just poured out of him. The reality? He was sweating over every single sentence, rewriting it 10, sometimes 20 times. That feeling of ease was a total illusion, built on top of incredibly hard work. So think about it. Being super talented, that's rare. Having insane drive, also rare. So people who have both, well, that's rare squared. It's an exponential thing. And here's the key takeaway for you and me. You can't really change your raw talent, but effort, that's the one dial you have almost complete control over. All right, so you're ready to put in the work. Awesome. But work on what? This is huge. It brings us to the next critical piece of the puzzle. Figuring out the difference between just pointless tasks and what we're going to call real work. And this difference is everything. On one hand, you've got schoolwork. It's handed to you, it feels fake, kind of like a watered-down version of the real thing. But on the other hand, you have real work. And this stuff, it comes from inside you. It feels important, necessary. It has this weight to it, a real solidity. It's the difference between doing a homework problem and actually building something. The famous mathematician G.H. Hardy had this exact aha moment. For years, he thought math was just about, beating other kids on exams. Then he reads this one book and bam, he sees for the first time what math really is. The beauty, the depth, it just blew his mind. That's the feeling of discovering real work. So just to be super clear, real work is the stuff that feels necessary. It has substance. It's not always going to be some earth-shattering breakthrough, but it's never, ever fake or just busy work. It's the polar opposite of going through the motions. Okay, so now you know what real work looks like. But how do you actually do it without totally burning out? You can't just go full throttle 24/7. The key is to find and really respect your own personal limits. So what is that limit? Well, you might be surprised. For the really tough stuff, that deep creative thinking like coding or writing, it seems like a lot of the top people hit a wall after just 5 hours. Yeah, 5. Not 8, not 12, 5. After that, the quality of what you produce just nosedives. It's not about the number of hours, it's about the quality of focus within those hours. And that brings it right back to you. That 5-hour thing, it's a guideline, not a hard rule. So what's your limit for deep work? Are you even aware of it? When do you feel that shift from doing great stuff to just, getting through it? Finding that limit is a skill. You have to get super sensitive to the quality of your own work. And that means being radically honest with yourself. Are you stopping because you're being lazy or because you're genuinely cooked for the day? Always aim for the hardest part of the problem first. And remember, pushing past your limit isn't something to brag about. It's just showing off, and honestly, it just leads to worse work. All right, we've talked about the day-to-day, but what about the big picture? How do you figure out what to pour all this effort into for your whole life? This, my friends, is probably the toughest question of all. And the thing is, there's no one right answer. Look at Mozart. For him, it was obvious. He finds music as a kid, and his whole life just converges on that one thing, super fast. But then you have someone like Newton. He's all over the place. He jumps from math and physics to alchemy and theology. His path never really narrows down to one single thing. Both paths are valid. So to figure this out for yourself, try this little thought experiment. What are you truly, deeply interested in if you take away all the other stuff? Forget about the money. Forget about the prestige. Forget what your parents or your friends want you to do. What's left when all that's gone? When it comes right down to it, your best compass is your own genuine interest. I know, that sounds a little squishy, maybe even dangerous, but really think about it. Who else could possibly know what's important for you? That deep, authentic curiosity. That's what will fuel you to work harder than any amount of outside pressure ever could. And this all leads us to the final big idea, the one principle that really holds this whole framework together. It's the secret ingredient, the one thing you absolutely can't do without. And it's this. Every single piece of this system, from judging when your work is good, to finding your daily limit, to choosing what to work on in the first place, it all comes down to being radically, totally honest with yourself. No shortcut. So let's just end on this idea. Working hard, it's a system that's way too complex to try and trick. You can't fake your interest. You can't lie to yourself about your limits, not for long anyway. But if you can just commit to being honest, really honest, the system kind of tunes itself. You'll find yourself working hard and working smart in a way that most people, well, they just never figure out. And that is how you really work hard.